So when were you aware that there was teams looking at you and there was a chance you'd be going to play in the SFL?
It was kind of all started when I went down to Preston for a week, and
that was in September or something.
Yeah, that was right. Just like maybe a month or two after I'd made my debut, Preston were interested, and I went down there. And I thought I was signing down there. They had agreed that they wanted to sign me. I'd agreed to go down, but I was meant to go down the next week and sign, and Dan Ferguson got the sack. So, I mean, these things happen in football, but for me at the time it was a big... I thought I was all set to go down. I was preparing to go down, have to move down there myself, but as soon as that happened, it kind of just... everything kind of stopped and I had to step back. And then I went into Celtic. I heard Rangers were interested as well, but at the time I was just concentrating on playing football, because if I let my mind go elsewhere, we were, as you know, we were in a bad position as it was, so I had to concentrate on football rather than other stuff. And then when the Motherwell thing came up, it seemed to come up, and then that was it. I mean, it all happened within a week, but I knew as soon as I'd been in and spoke to the manager, spoke to the head of youth and stuff like that, that was a club that I wanted to sign for.
Yeah, I mean, Motherwell does have quite a good reputation for giving young players a chance.
Definitely. I mean, as right now the under 21s right back is playing for Scotland is in Motherwell just now, Steve Saunders, and they've got a lot of young boys playing, and they're not one of the richest clubs in the SPL, so they're going to have to give young boys a chance. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good opportunity, hopefully.
How do you deal with being in school, playing in the second division, and having some of the biggest teams in the country chasing after you?
It's been hard, but I would rather have the problems than not have the problems. I mean, I could just be playing with the under 19s just now, no one come in for me, none of the awards or anything like that, but to have stuff like that come in, I'm obviously delighted.
So at the start of this season, did you expect to be playing in the first team, or was it just you thought?
No, well, the first, up until I made my debut at Stenhousemuir, that was in September, October, I was just playing 19s, and I thought that's the way the season was going, because the manager had brought in a few defenders over summer, so I thought maybe they would be his first choice and I wouldn't be involved. But I made my debut under Jim Chapman, and then as he left, it probably wasn't the best time to make my debut, losing 4-0, scoring an own goal, and on the Tuesday the manager resigns. So after, obviously on the Tuesday, I was just taken aback, as in, where do I go from here? What happens if Alan comes in, or whoever comes in after Jim doesn't like me? But as Alan came in, and I can't complain, Alan's just been absolutely great with me. He played me 18 games in a row or something like that until I got suspended, so it's been, for me this season, apart from the 2 years I spent in Chapel Amsfield, by far my best season in football. And
obviously this season as well, you featured in Scotland squads.
Yeah.
Is it under 17s or
it was the Scotland's under 18s, the Scotland schools under 18s, yeah. And then on next week it's Scotland's under 19s.
That's massive, isn't it?
It's especially with the campaign we had with the Scotland schools under 18s. I mean, beating England live on Sky Sports to win the whole thing. I mean, we couldn't have asked for anything else, but we went into the tournament hoping that we'd go into the England game. They've not beat England in 13 years or something, so we were going into the tournament hoping to get to the England game, and hopefully we'll have a chance. Hopefully on Sky Sports we won't go out and not perform, but went out and got the victory, and then getting called up to the national squad's just been a dream come true.
Have you watched that game back at all?
Oh, I've watched it. As soon as I got back in my house the next day, I think I watched it 3 times.
And the commentators on Sky were quite complimentary about you.
Yeah, I mean, everything that's happened to me for football this year seemed to have went well. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better season. First time at professional football. I mean, with Dumbarton stayed up, I've been involved in 2 national squads, so I mean, so far it's been great.
And I mean, when all this amazing stuff's been happening to you at the start, the team was still quite, we're bottom of the league, a few points adrift. Was it difficult to sort of, the two contrasts of, you're playing for the national team, you've got a chance to go full time, but the team you're playing for, is really struggling. Was that difficult?
At the beginning, I felt that it was difficult for myself, but you'll know yourself, we've got in that squad that was this season, we've got players that are far too good to be playing near the bottom of the second division. I mean, there's players in there that with the experience they have, we should even with the squad we have, we should have been higher up in that league. And we know that ourselves, but we had a terrible start to the season and we had to just get on with it. So at the start it was difficult for me, but the players we've got in there all rallied around me and made sure that when I was going away with the national squad, I made sure I kept myself fit, and I just kept a level head so that I wasn't coming back thinking, oh, I'm coming back to playing at a standard that it wasn't here. But of course the boys in the dressing room have been great to me this year.
Was it difficult to you're playing for Scotland on a Friday and then coming back and coming playing on a Saturday?
I think there was one, we were away, I was away in, I think it was away in Northern Ireland in Belfast on a Friday, and then we were away to Forfar on the Saturday. So that one, after the Forfar game, that really took out my legs, but I mean, I got the opportunity. I said that if I'm back on time, I feel my legs are okay after the Northern Ireland game, then I'd be in to play. And I felt alright, and I think I done alright in the game, but as I said before, I would rather have the problems than not have the problems.
Obviously you've just been awarded Young Player of the Year. What does that mean to you?
Oh, I mean, to be awarded that is almost just like being awarded Player of the Year here, because in that squad there's so many young players. I mean, the man that won John McShane, who won the Player of the Year, could have easily qualified to win Young Player of the Year, and there's so many other good young boys in there that could have won it. So I'm just delighted to be especially voted by the fans as what they seem to be the better of everyone.
And it's maybe a difficult question, but do you think when you look back on your career, what do you think you remember most about Dumbarton?
Probably just I always remember Dumbarton because I've made my debut here, and because the season that I've had has been so. Probably what I look back on is how good for me personally a season it was, because to be called up to the two nationals, and then with Dumbarton being able to get out the position we were in. I mean, we were bottom of the table, and realistically anyone out with our dressing room probably thought we were going to be going down. Maybe some of the more optimistic Dumbarton fans felt we could still get out of it, but every other team in the league didn't really give us a chance. To them we were gone, and it was a given 3 points every week they played us, but we obviously stayed strong in the dressing room and we still felt we could get somewhere. So staying in the division and then getting called up to the two national squads just been what a season for me, really.